everybody? Tajee here, founder of Tajee Incorporated, and as promised, we're starting the mental health series with episode 1. Now, some of you may or may not know, every year the first full week of October is nationally recognized as Mental Illness Awareness Week. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump right into the interview with our first guest. Kashief or Cash? What do you like to be called first?
I prefer Cash. Kashief is my real name, but I do prefer Cash.
I'll let you do your introduction yourself. What's your name? Tell me where you're from. You know, your career, everything like that.
All right, so my name is Kashief. Everyone calls me Cash. My career, I'm in the Army, active duty. I'm originally from West Philly, but I now currently live in Lindenwold, New Jersey.
Okay, cool. Well, first I want to say thank you, for sitting down with us, taking the time out, kind of sharing a little bit about your story. Like I said in the introduction, we are trying to get some awareness with mental health and mental illness.
Right.
And I think, personally, I'm appreciative a little bit extra today, just because, you're a very, very close friend of mine, but, you have a significant story that I think, a lot of people should know about. So kind of just to start off the interview, what is mental health to you, essentially? What does it mean to you? What is the definition of it? Kind of just give me a breakdown as to what do you think about mental health?
I think mental health is one of those things that we have really yet to discover fully, but we kind of just sometimes wrongfully throw labels on it.
Right.
But to me, I personally think mental health is trying to understand someone's similarities and differences mentally and sometimes emotionally.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said understanding, just because I think a lot of people have somewhat of a misunderstanding as to what it actually is.
Absolutely.
But so for instance, we'll just jump right into it. With you kind of deal with kind of your own personal mental health issue or situation, not to say not really an issue. Kind of, you want to go into that a little bit as to what you struggle with or what you deal with on a daily basis? So
the psychiatrist or psychiatric evaluator would tell you that I have split personality. Okay. From my learning and understanding of split personality, there are different tiers to it. I'm not sure how many tiers, but we'll just say there's like a low, moderate, and high tier level. And with those tier levels, they can be severe. So when I first heard about split personality, I instantly thought of the movie Split. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I got superpowers.
Yeah, and I was going to say, a lot of people, when they hear split personality, they think of that movie.
Yes.
They think of Split. And I think one of the characters' name is Barry or something.
Yep, Barry.
And they kind of, assume that's the actual condition. But in your situation, it's not really that extreme, I guess.
No, so I'm more like I'll say a low tier or a tier 1. So to speak. For me, it's more so emotional or like environmental almost. So for me, if I'm with friends that like to turn up and party, that side of me might come out. But if I'm with a more serious crowd or a more serious group of friends, I'm more serious or more focused. Right. And sometimes the personality, so to speak, will clash with others. So I might be in a hesitant, laid-back situation where friends of mine might be in a turn-up environment, or vice versa. I might want to turn up and be the hyperactive one, and everyone else is like, whoa, calm down, like this isn't the time or the area for that. Okay,
so yeah, a little bit to kind of get into that, with you kind of having the split personality in that sense, it's more so kind of a mood thing. It's not really like you literally think you're two different people, right?
Sometimes. So for me, yes, mostly it is moods, but I do have conflicting moments, I guess, with personality, because it might be if I'm trying to be intimate with someone, not sexually, but intimate as in forming a bond. Right. I might not know how to approach the person, so I'll fight with myself saying, do I be the outgoing Cash? Am I the laid back Cash? Is this the serious Cash? So everyone does it, and they have their modes or their, how can I put it, personas, right, almost. But for me, it's like more serious. So where it might take 2 seconds for someone else, it could take me 10 or 15 minutes or longer, and I'll conflict with myself.
Okay, all right. So, I know you mentioned your different personality would be based upon kind of the scene you're in, but what do you say would trigger that? Essentially, what are your triggers, or what's something that kind of causes you to go into the state that you did?
So I have an angry state for me, and the angry state almost has 2 branches. There's the depressed angry side, and then there's the just physically angry, like rage side. Depression or something depressing causes, you know, those sad or that anger for me. Whether it might be something that happened in my relationship or something that happened in my life. So normally it might be something sad that kind of makes someone sad, but for me it'll get me low, like low.
All right. So when you said, you know, I know you mentioned your relationship. We kind of talked a little bit off camera about some kind of situations in which you got into these states.
Yes.
And I know, you know, it gets excuse me, a little bit involved when you kind of deal with this kind of personality, and then you also have to kind of deal with your everyday life. Yeah. So are there any like particular situations you can recall in which you kind of got into that and couldn't really, you know, figure out how to get out, and you kind of resulted in something else? Yeah.
Previous relationship a long time ago for me, I was very, very emotionally invested. I gave it my all. I even changed what I thought was like the good sides about me. So, you know, I stopped partying as much, going out with my friends. I made it about that one person.
How long ago?
100%. Wow. Now I say about 6 years, 5 years at the minimum, 6, 7 years at the most.
So it was pretty recent.
Yeah, pretty much. It's definitely a recent situation.
How old are you now?
I'll be 27 actually this Saturday.
Wow. So you weren't like this wasn't like a high school kind of thing.
Nah, it wasn't a high school thing. I did deal with it in high school in different ways, but this was the most consuming for me.
So I guess go into it a little bit if you don't mind. Just go into it a little bit as to why was it so emotionally consuming? Why did it cause you to kind of get so far out of yourself?
So, not to go fully into it because it's long. While I was in this relationship, I cut out hanging out with friends because my significant other felt like I spent too much time with my friends. We went out, my friends wouldn't respect our relationship, or just me being me. She hated the fact that I was outgoing, or super outgoing, that I got along with everyone, that can be in all mixes. And so whatever, I cut off people, I stopped hanging out as much. And then I actually found out she was doing everything that she complained about me doing, or everything she quote unquote worried about me doing. She was pretty much living that life. So her fears were pretty much driven from her getting, you know, worried about getting caught. So when I did catch her, you know, I neglected it. I blew it off. There was nothing to it. But eventually it got to me. I blamed myself. I hated myself, you know.
And sorry to cut you off, but when you say you caught her, like, was she like cheating, or was it something else?
Yeah, so she was physically cheating and emotionally cheating. She was cheating. I tried to battle it, tried to get through it, and it just consumed me. So for me, I fought with myself like tooth and nail. Like, it's you're the blame. It's your fault. Everything you did is wrong. So cowering away from it and realizing that it wasn't me, I actually tried to take my own life. So that was the low. That was the low point for me. I call it the pit. So I was actually in the pit, and I felt like I couldn't get out the pit. I felt like God couldn't help me. Friends couldn't help me. I felt like no one would understand. So I tried to take a full bottle of pain medicine, put myself to sleep, knowing that I wouldn't wake up. But it didn't work that way. I couldn't swallow all the pills, and I'm a pill taker. You know, that's easy for me, but my stomach couldn't hold the pills. I kept throwing them up, or just not holding them down. I tried to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep, had a headache, threw up the pills. Everything I wanted my body to do to accept it, and for me to accept my death, so to speak, I was unable to. It just rejected. And ultimately, I know that it was God later in life, but in that moment, it was just like, what the hell? You can't even kill yourself right. You can't do your relationship right. You can't kill yourself right. What can you do right?
So in a way, you know? I think a lot of people who kind of deal with a particular mental illness, they kind of blame themselves. So
yes.
That's what you kind of did.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not hold her accountable of her own actions. I took all the accountability.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely serious. That's definitely intense. One, I appreciate you sharing that.
Oh, no doubt.
A lot of people don't, get that involved with it. But, it may help the next person who kind of is dealing with that same trauma, that same issue. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. But so with you getting past that, because obviously you've advanced from that, you got way better from it. How does it, how are you doing, or how does it affect you being that you still deal with this? How does it affect your family and your relationship now with your kids? Because I know you have
Yep.
children. And how does it affect that relationship now that you're kind of better able to manage it?
So it doesn't so much affect my kids. Through the grace of God and just learning myself, I've been able to deflect my kids from that and separate them. If I'm in a mood or a low point, I kind of separate myself. So I'll get through the day, I'll push through the day. My kids go to sleep. I might go and sit on the couch to myself, no TV, no distraction, and just, I guess, meditate. Sometimes in that state, I might conflict, I might argue, and I might even tell myself, yo, you don't need to be here. Like, life is easier if you're gone. But then I just do something simple to look at it. I look at a picture of my children, or I walk into their room and see them sleeping. And I look at my oldest son, who's my twin, and then I look at my youngest son, who acts just like me, And then it makes me think, like, it's simple. If you go, they don't have a father, or someone else raises them. And I don't know about most people, but I can't stomach that. If I'm physically here, I'm going to raise my children. So for me, it's like the best thing my kids can do is to have me there. So that's the best thing I can do.
So basically, for lack of better words, you kind of find strength in them rather
yes.
than taking it out on them.
Yeah, because that's that lifeline for me. I have my children, If anyone else turns their back on me or don't need me, my children will need me, So it's my job to be that anchor, and by me being their anchor, they're actually my anchor, and it rights the ship.
Yeah, well, definitely thank you so much for kind of sharing your story, your background on it, kind of making us a little bit more aware of, I guess, the different sides of not only split personality, but the different sides of mental health and preserving mental health. Any advice that you would kind of give someone suffering or going through that particular mental health, or any issue that they have? Any advice you want to give them, how to cope, how to deal directly with that?
Well, one is always taking your life is never the answer. Suicide or physically hurting yourself or endangering yourself is never an option. Don't even let that be an option. Don't let it be a thought. But find yourself an anchor. Whether it's spiritual, an object, an outlet, meaning something to do. Try not to find a person, because sadly to say, a person could let you down. And if that person lets you down, you feel like you lost your anchor. You feel like you lost your foundation. So I go to the gym, I dance. Since I'm in the Army, I'll shoot. I'll build Legos for my son, so when he comes, he can see it and he's like, wow, So I place that negative energy in a positive situation or a positive outlet. Now, I know for all of us, we don't have that kind of situation or that kind of scenario. So lean on something that won't fail you. God won't fail you. The gym, because you can physically punish your body and get a positive result out of it. Cook, clean, something that makes you out of your own head and out of your own way, basically.
Perfect, man. Yeah, definitely. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it, but thank you for sharing your story.
Of course.
Thank you for being a part of this, and definitely we'll catch up. We'll keep in touch, and we'll kind of get informed on how you're doing going forward.
All right.